So today is the second part. The first part is called prerequisites. It's called the children. In order to train them well, we need to teach them few things before they start praying. And this may include and not limited to teaching foundational fiqh. Fiqh means the rules, procedures, manners, adab, etc., about the salah. Three areas are important. One is called najasa, one is called tahara, and one is called ibadah. And subhanAllah, what is amazing, that salah is ibadah. And ibadah is not acceptable and is not complete nor valid unless tahara takes place. And tahara will not be complete unless najasa is removed. So my question is, do children know what najasa is? Do children know what is the prescribed method of removing najasa so that they can obtain tahara, and on the basis of that they can perform salah? Let me share with you some facts. You believe me or you don't believe me, but majority of children, they had trouble in najasa, especially when they use bathroom. I don't know if you witness a bathroom where some children are making wudu or using a bathroom, and what goes on there. Sometimes it looks funny, but at the same time it's sad. The second fact, a big majority of children, when they do number one, what makes me laugh sometimes, that the modern way of tahara, the American way, is that they use tissues, right? But what is sad, and it looks to me gross, that some of them, they use tissues for number two as well. I personally feel that they were not taught and trained when they are young to use the bathroom, to hold the lota or the container, and how to use left hand, and how to use tahara. The fourth fact, a big majority of children, they use bathroom standing. And this reminds me what Imam Abu Zaman was mentioning the other day, that he saw yellow spots of urine on the top of toilet seat. This is also because of that because when they grow up, they're not aware. So if najasa is there, najasa is totally opposite of tahara, and if najasa is there, ibadah is not accepted. So standing, urinating, it goes all over, and then washing hands, washing properly. So one of the area that we need to, and I strongly urge myself and you, we need to sit with our children and check of understanding. We need to ask them, what do you do when you go for number one? What do you do when you go for number two? Because we need to tell them that after najasa is removed, you're going to obtain tahara, which is the prerequisite and the basic condition for your ibadah. Can you imagine a tissue used for number two and a child, and I will tell you in 1 minute how they do the wudu, and they join the salah. How come the salah is accepted? This is, to me, it always gives me alarming bells in my head. Then I want to tell you something funny. For a lot of children, especially school-going children, there is something called, if you want to laugh, you can. There is something called rubber wudu, like a plastic wudu. And a plastic wudu, it never breaks. Subhanallah, you go like 20 times in the bathroom, and mashallah. So it's not a mashallah, it's a mashallah. So wudu remains. Basically, it's because no proper training has been done to make sure that wudu is really necessary for, and then faraidul wudu and sunan and all these manners for. And one of the things that I used for the past 6-7 years in summer camp here, it's called a fake prayer. So I encourage you, at your child, have them do the wudu, and the father and the mother supervises them in the bathroom. Then after that, you give them a musalla or a rug, and you said, pray 2 rak'ah, and you have to say everything louder. And then you listen. From takbiratul ihram all the way to assalamu alaikum ta taslima. So you have to listen, and then you watch their posture and gestures and all these. The third area. The second area is called contents. In contents, 4 things are essential. Number 1, it's called dua al-istiftah. I doubt that many children, they know dua al-istiftah well, which also called Pakistani Indian people, they call sana. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika wa tabarak ismuka wa ta'ala jadduka wa la ilaha ghairu. A lot of them, they know it, but many of them, they don't know it. I add on it that not only we have to teach them so that they can memorize, they need to understand what does that mean. So when they read, they feel what does that mean. The second one is called at-tashahhud. Many children, they mess up in tashahhud. Where to raise exactly the fingers, where to keep hands, and the whole text of at-tahiyyat. That's the second area. And then dua at the end, and then the last but not least is Salatul Ibrahimi, which is the 2 parts, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad. And I again strongly urge that a fake prayer should be part of this training period so that they can fully understand. So that's why what and how is important in the second part. The third one, and I conclude on this, is called performance, which is ada. Ada requires a standing position where the hands should be. Some kids, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this. So if we don't teach them, they will not learn. And I'm not saying they don't know or they don't want to learn. They will, but there is no serious efforts can be done. So right posture, right gesture, right actions, and then something called attention. A lot of children, they move their eyes. They move a lot. Feels itchy. It doesn't look to them that they are praying. So we need to tell them what salah is. Sukoon. And we will talk about that. Then, level of seriousness. Because as soon as you are in salah, a kind of level of seriousness has to be there. It doesn't really matter how naughty the child is. We need to tell them that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is watching you if we are not watching Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the level of excellence. And especially the right position, the eyes, the hand position, especially the eyes position, the feet position, and the gaze position should be at the level of sujood, not at the clock or at the wall or peeking. I'm going to tell you something funny in this masjid. 3-4 years ago, you remember that Mufti Sahib came from South Africa? And mashallah, this day, he was reading Surah Yusuf, and I was right here. And a brother next to me, subhanallah, he had cell phone in his pocket here, and he had on on the vibrating mode, and someone is calling him, right? Right? And then he started putting his hand as like closing the phone. So it happens 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Every time he put this, his elbow is like touching me. And then the guy who's calling him, the man, was not quiet. So finally the brother got mad. And in salah itself, while the Mufti Sahib was like going, mashallah, Surah Yusuf, he took his cell phone out, he pushed the talk button, and he said, I'm in salah. And then he put his phone in the pocket. And then he completed his salah. So after salah, I told him, I said, brother, you have to complete your 2 rakah. So instead of listening to me and saying sorry, he made me a witness instead. He said, brother, I'm not doing anything. You know that, right? He was bothering me. I tried to shut him down so many times until I had to do what I have to do. So now, this is an example. This happened not from a child, from an adult. And the same way, next week, inshallah, I will tell you a story of fake khushu'. What happens in fake khushu'? So this is the right positions, the right actions, the level of seriousness. And khushu', this covers the level of khushu' as well. And for the virtues and the rewards, I just have to have one hadith. It says, the Rasulullah ﷺ says, كما قال He told his Sahaba that if you happen to see a river in front of your house with clean, sweet water running, and you take a bath in that river 5 times a day, and he asked them, is there any dirt remain on your body? And he said, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, no, there will not be. And that's what he said, فَذَلِكَ مَثَلُ الصَّلَوَاتِ الْخَمْسِ يَمْحُ اللَّهُ بِهِنَّ الْخَطَايَا. That this is the example of the 5 daily prayers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove the sins from it if it is performed with proper manners, proper khushu', proper concentration. My request to me and to you, let's take this salah issue seriously and sit down with our children so that we can teach them. And Ramadan is coming. Ramadan is the best, and many children, even younger ones, will be leading Taraweeh. So inshallah, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who are not only regular in our salah and to improve in Ramadan, but to train children to better their salah performance. Inshallah, the last part I will deliver next week. وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا. طيب.
I think he already took Shahada.
Just introduce him.
He already took Shahada, that's fine. You know what to do.
It's okay.